Let's switch it up over to NASCAR, man. That was I felt really good for Chris Buescher to win that race the other day. How about you?
Yeah, the whole Roush-Fenway Keselowski merger or Brad buying into the thing has been fascinating. And I think what's come out of this, I think a lot has come out of it. I think a team that is maybe historically wasn't quite as forward-thinking is a very forward-thinking team right now. I think that's how Brad is.
Right.
I think that's big, touchy-feely, important stuff as far as that goes. But I think I think a lot of us assumed that Chris Buescher was a really good racer. We assumed he could get the job done. He had one win at Pocono. It was a rain-shortened race.
Right.
And, those are always weird when you have those. Those are I don't understand those not counting as much because you put yourself in a spot and you won the race. And so Chris had that win. And sometimes that's almost like a negative thing that happens to a driver.
It
is.
Yeah.
But what we've seen this year, and it started at Daytona. Chris won one of the dual races along with his team owner Brad, and we've seen this team, have moments of really, really good, and then other moments where they've struggled. I think while it's not a new team, it's the new team blues. I think Chris really has stepped up and shown himself to be a top flight world class road racer. And darn near won the Sonoma race, and so I think it's validation. I think there's a lot of us that thought he was a good racer. I think a lot of us now that know he's a really, really good racer. And my feeling on it is it was great. You've got to get that first win with the team. You got to get that second career win.
Right.
My hunch on this one is that we're going to see Chris Buescher winning more races as we move forward. Maybe not this year. It's so tough. It's so topsy-turvy this year. But I think it was a big night for him to kind of step into his own. Brad Keselowski, you can't ask Brad about the team without him migrating to how good Chris Buescher is, how such a rock-solid teammate he is, how patient he is as they build the program. And he was rewarded on Saturday night with a win in one of it's not considered a crown jewel. It's not the Daytona 500, the World 600, or the Coca-Cola 600, or the Southern 500. But I'm telling you what, a trophy from the night race at Bristol is very coveted, and Chris Buescher's got himself one.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought Brad was going to get it right there in the mix of things there towards the end of that race, but I think he had a flat, didn't he?
Yeah, so did he. Brad had a tire go down, and he ended up going to victory lane as the team owner. But I thought the same thing too. Brad is such a talent. He's and when you put him in a spot where he's got the upper hand on people, he is not going to relinquish it. And a tire goes down, there's nothing you can do at that point. You relinquish it. That's out of your control. He's good at doing everything in his control. That's the nice part about this win to me. We went through this last year. Remember when Kyle Larson won all those races?
Yep.
And then he goes to Pocono and he cuts a tire down on the last lap, and Alex Bowman wins the race. And it's like, well, Hendrick Motorsports is still happy. That is a really good sign for Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, in that when your first car has a problem on what looks like on the way to the win, your next car in line mans up and goes and wins the race. I just think that's a huge statement for the team, and I'm with you. I thought the listening to that race on the radio, I was coming back from Lonesome Pine Raceway up in Virginia. I did a pay-per-view deal up there, and coming back from it, listening on the radio, I thought, boy, this is going to be cool to see Brad win this race, And 45 minutes later, it was Brad in victory lane with Chris Buescher winning it.
Yeah.